Hi guys, this is Julia and today I have part 2 of my Merry Christmas card series 2015 for you, showing you how I'm using one stamp and die set for 3 different cards. The Pinecone stamp set has actually been released by Casual Fridays last year, but in this year's new release we're going to get these matching dies for the Pinecones so you can easily cut them out, either the stamped images or you can even create windows on a card, for example for a shaker. I'm starting out by die cutting a few shapes, a few sizes of the pine cones, and then stamping them with different colors of brown pigment ink. And I'm just choosing pigment ink because I liked the tones that I had, the color tones. You can use whatever ink you like for this technique. I'm moving on to the twigs, and I'm going to stamp them in 2 different hues. I'm using first a very dark pigment ink. And the reason I'm using pigment ink on this project is simply that these were the colors that I liked best. You don't have to use pigment ink, use whatever ink you like. And then I'm coming in with my lighter ink, and you can see that my ink pad is a little discolored, but that doesn't matter. You can just wipe it off later on. And what I'm trying to do is add some ink to the end of the twigs here, so you have a nice gradient when you go from dark to light. It's not going to be as pronounced as it looks here initially, but it's going to make a difference. So when I lift this up, you can see that I have a light gradient going on here, which is pretty awesome. If you it just makes it a little bit more interesting than if it would be one solid color, I feel. And then I'm going to fuzzy cut this out. And it's not terribly difficult. I know that some of you might be hesitant to try fuzzy cutting because it looks like these twigs are, they have so many details, and it's like, no, I don't want to fuzzy cut this out. But actually it's not too terrible, and as you can see, I'm moving the paper, I'm not moving my scissors. I learned this, I think, was it Christina Werner who mentioned this once? One of the big great crafters in our crafting world mentioned this. Move the paper, not the scissors, and it really makes a world of a difference. Even for me, I have problems with my hands, quite some pain there, but even I can do this. So if you move the paper, you actually, that's the main part of the work. The rest is just holding the scissors still and slowly closing the gap there. It's actually quite easy. Now I'm moving on to the first card. So this is the first card that we'll be making, and hopefully you can see that I'm using a really nice tag shape there. It's called the scallop tag, and it's also new in this release. And you get 2 sizes, and I'm using the bigger one today. I'm die cutting it with my die cutting machine, and I'm stamping this beautiful sentiment in VersaFine black ink. Then I'm adding a generous amount of glue to the back side of the tag, and I'm putting down some foam, fun foam here. And that is, you could use foam adhesive, but I simply had this fun foam at hand, and I feel it's cheaper to use than the foam adhesive. Then I used some green twine, fiddled this through the opening here, and created a nice bow. And then I put some adhesive on the back of the fun foam, and I'm adhering this to my card base. And now it's time to embellish this tag a little bit, make it a little bit more Christmassy. Yeah, I need to fiddle with the bow. Sorry, just compulsion. So I actually glued the twig to the back of the cone when I set this down, and then you can see I added some fun foam here as well to the back of my twigs, and I'm just pressing this down. And after I had adhered all of this, I picked up some green watercolor from my Kuretake Gansai color here, and I'm flicking my finger against my brush to create some splatters on the card. And you want to hold the brush high enough so you won't accidentally touch it to the surface. Ask me how I know. Moving on to my second card. This one is a little bit simpler. It's just a variation of the same theme. And I'm stamping the twigs here, this time just in one color. And it's actually good that I still have some of the darker color on the ink pad, because that gives me a little bit of a gradient. And then my camera crapped out, sorry for my language, and the card was magically done. I apologize for that. Oh no, it's not done yet. Spoiler, it's going to be done. I'm stamping the smaller twigs here in the darker color, and this is going to be simply the background, so I'm not too worried that I didn't stamp this very well here, because I'm gonna cover this up. As you will see, it will happen magically. Yay, done. Sorry again. I foam mounted the cone and then added the what did I add? Oh yeah, I added the the twine, and then I'm simply using the same technique and adding some splatter to my card here. Okay, this is the last card that we'll be making, and I like this one. I think I like this one best, actually. Don't ask me why, it's my favorite of the three. I'm starting out by die cutting a panel with the smaller one of the Femme Frames by Mama Elephant. And then I'm using the Bubble Box die set by Casual Fridays, and I'm using one of the smaller sizes here to create a window. Simply placing the die here on this panel that I already die cut that has stitched edges. And I'm going to secure this die with with a post-it note. And then I added foam tape to the back of this panel, and now I'm adding glue to the, no, not the foam tape, to the fun foam that I added on the back here. And this is going to help my panel be very secure on my card base. It's not going to sag anywhere. Again, you can flat mount it, you can use foam tape to adhere it. I just had some fun foam ready, so that's why I used it. I'm pressing this down very well so this will stay put. I stamped the greeting in the open window here, and then I adhered some of the smaller twigs to one of the pine cones, and here I have some foam adhesive, and I adhered this onto my panel on the front. I just grabbed some golden twine, created a loop, and then I'm tying some twine through the middle of this loop, and that will give it the illusion that it's a bow. It's not really a bow. That's how I do my bows. Just loop some twine and then tie it down in the middle. And I use the glue dot to adhere it to my pine cone here. And then once more I'm coming in with my Perfect Pearls in Gold, and later on with the Kuretake Gansai green color, and splattering that down, simply to add some more interest to this otherwise very white card. And in the end, as with the other cards, I grabbed some sequins by Pretty Pink Posh and adhered them to the card with some glossy accents, simply to give these cards a little bit more shine and a bit more, to grab some more attention. So here's a close-up of my golden bow and the sequins by Pretty Pink Posh. So that's how you can easily create 3 different cards with just one stamp and die set, and then embellish it to your liking. I hope you liked the projects, you got inspired. Check out Casual Fridays for these new products, and I'll hope to see you again soon. Bye bye!